Police officers of Reddit, what was something you saw someone do that made you say wait, is that illegal? Just talked about this today at the bar. They, the police, are paying more attention to not drink alcohol in public places in Amsterdam center at the moment. A lot of the old houses in Amsterdam neither have balconies or gardens, so lots of people just take out a seat and go sit on the street in front of the house when the sun is out. Apparently a neighbor got a €90 fine for drinking a glass of wine on a sunny Sunday while reading his newspaper in front of his apartment. Had a seaplane land in the harbor, taxied up the boat ramp, and parked in a parking lot while also paying the meter while they went for lobster rolls. Apparently it's legal. There's a bar behind my house. Sometimes I grab a ladder and hop the fence to get there. One time I was hopping back over and got stopped. Once I was drunk at a bar that only had one toilet for men and one for women, and the lines were way too long during a football game. So I went outside to pee. I ended up getting a ticket for urinating in public. The next day I look up the code the officer cited me for, and it was the equivalent of littering. But you see, in all my glory I actually had the decency to pee into a trash can. So I prepared my defense to show up in court and plead to the judge that I was innocent because you can't litter into a trash can. The officer didn't show up to court, so I ended up getting off, but I still wonder how hard the judge laughed in my face. Not a police officer. When I was 20 I drove my friend to the liquor store since she didn't have a car at the time. It was being shipped across country since she was moving in a couple days. So, being underage I stayed in the car. There was a cop sitting in a parking lot across the street. As soon as my friend came back, we pulled out and drove off. Cop followed and pulled us over. Gives me a ticket, takes the booze. Apparently, you cannot drive with alcohol in a vehicle if you are underage, even if there is somebody of age in the vehicle. So, in theory, you cannot drive your parents to the grocery store and drive them home if they bought booze. I had never heard of such a thing, and everyone who I have told about this since has also been dumbfounded. I go to my court date. Judge calls my name, I stand at the podium, and they read the charges. After that, the DA just kinda stares blankly. I don't see the problem. There was someone of age in the vehicle. The prosecutor reads the law, statute, whatever. The DA kinda shrugged her shoulders and said okay, it doesn't make sense to me, but it's the law. A drunk man dry humping a tree. Drunk on an electric scooter. My state doesn't allow underglow on normal vehicles, but encourages extra lighting like that on motorcycles. In 1983, a local cop pulled over a guy for having a cow in the backseat of a Chevrolet Chevette. I'm not sure why he was pulled over. There's no law that says you can't have a cow in a Chevette. Had a cop once follow me for about 20 minutes at 3 AM because my friend in the passenger seat knocked on the window of the car beside us at a stoplight. We knew the person in the car, that's why he did it. Cop finally pulls us over on some random country road way outside town. He couldn't even remember why he stopped us because he had been following us for so long. When I asked him why he followed us for so long rather than just stopping us right away, he said, "Man, it's 3 in the morning. That's how long it took me to wake up the dispatch guy to call this in." Eventually he remembered why he stopped us, and we just said we knew the guy, and he was like oh okay and left. Other time I got pulled over for driving too slow down a hill. On big hills I usually just downshift and let it roll, rather than burn out my brakes, and the look of shame on the cop's face that he didn't think of that and immediately assumed I was drunk was kind of funny, but he was pretty young, probably not much older than me, so I kinda felt bad for the guy. My dog ran out into the street and into the side of a driving car. Crazy lady, Hoss son was driving. Got out and started threatening to call the cops because a dog dented and scratched her car. After she left, my mom called the cops to see if there was anything we could be held accountable for. Cop, was it on your property? Mom, no. Cop, was your dog driving a car? Mom, no. Cop, you're fine. Edit. To be clear, the dent this lady was referring to had white paint marks. The dent was not where our dog hit their car, and we do not paint our dogs. My favorite police incident in my whole life has been the cop that stopped parked his car at a stop sign to give somebody a parking ticket because the bumper was maybe 1 foot past the do not park beyond this point sign, while the rest of the car was good. An old lady of Latin descent, 70s I'm guessing, attempts to go around the illegally parked cop car and gets into an accident. She flips out on the cop, screaming at him in Spanglish for being so careless. He just put his head down as this old lady berated him for parking like a ref **king asshole. Sometimes I miss Baltimore. Not a cop, but I know someone who was on the receiving end of this. I always carry lights when I'm longboarding in the dark, even though I don't have to. It's purely a safety measure. My friend doesn't, and he got pulled over for it once. The cops were literally about to give him a fine, and my friend had to explain to them that he wasn't obligated to carry lights since skaters are pedestrians according to my country's traffic law. Driving above the posted school zone speed limit when the sign states 20 miles per hour when children are present. Well then what constants present? Children inside the school? Children playing well away from the road in the fenced-in yard? Just school hours in general? During after-school sports and activities? No idea. So, unless someone's blatantly reckless and an asshole, I won't stop people for driving over the posted 20. Edit. My first ever content contribution to get any recognition on Reddit. Hell yeah. My mate rode the train in only his boxers after he lost his swimming pants, or whatever the **ku English people call it. A cop was on the same train as us, and he just kept looking like he didn't know what the **k to do, because it's not really written in the rules that you cannot ride a train in your boxers if you pay for it. You can turn left on a red light from a one-way street to another one-way street in most states and provinces. For us Canadian boys, you need to stop and yield just like a right turn on a red light. It does seem illegal when you do it though. Having sex with animals. This has always been pretty weird twist. Here hurting animals is considered animal abuse and is illegal. Also filming and selling animal porn is illegal, but act itself is not illegal. I have always wondered how they made such a distinct separation between filming sex with animals being illegal, but having sex with animals not being illegal. Not a police officer. News story about a man in Louisiana who rode his horse home drunk. The officer pulled him over to arrest him, and he said that the horse knew the way home. The officer couldn't give him a DUI because he was on the horse and only gave him a ticket for public intoxication. Not a cop, but my high school campus officer says one of the other officers in our town cited a 3-year for indecent exposure because the kid dropped his pants and peed in bush at the park because there are too many people in the bathroom. Not sure if all the toilet were in use or what. The report was thrown out, and as Officer B put it, that was the day I realized that officer had to go. He'd done some other stupid ***t, but citing a 3-year-old that had to pee and did it in a discreet spot was just proof he wasn't fit to have a badge or a gun. The guy was fired eventually over a different incident, but it took a lot of effort because of the union. Officer B probably shared too much info with us students, but he claimed it was because you are citizens and you need to be informed. A bad apple rots the barrel, and as a cop, you gotta be nothing but good apples or someone is gonna get hurt or worse. Not a cop, but once when I was still in high school I ditched school with a bunch of friends and ended up being pulled over for a minor traffic violation. Now I was a senior and was already 18 years old. Well, a cop is talking with my other friend who is also 18. After a 5-minute talk, the cop turns to me, the only other 18 plus of our group, and asked what my understanding of the truant law was. I told him I thought it was that if I'm 18 I can't get a ticket for truancy. He smiles a bit and says that's what I thought and didn't write us tickets. Drunk lady had many DUIs and got her license revoked. Drunk lady owns horses. Drunk lady rides horse to nearest bar. Too far to drive the mower as she put it. Cops were unsure of what to do. I told a cop to get off her phone while driving. Turns out cops are legally allowed to use digital devices in performance on their duties while driving in Ontario. Every time I walk down the street and see/smell someone smoking pot, I know it is legal now. but my brain still thinks it is illegal for about the first 2 seconds. Apparently you can run a yellow light. My dad got a ticket once for not slowing down enough at a yellow light. Since we're on the subject, is it technically illegal to make a right hand turn at a red light, immediately U-turn, and make a right hand turn again, basically bypassing the red light? I'm assuming no, as long as the U-turn itself is legal, but it feels so cheap and makes me feel so dirty. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.